Dave here, how are you? Today I'm going to have a little play around with fences. Now not a fence that's between my neighbour's place and me, but fences for jointers and planes. Most people will realise that a jointer like this bad boy here, my little 6-inch jointer, has a fence on the back. Now I can adjust that to create different angles off the outfeed table. Now I have set this at 90 degrees. So I've got a little square there. I can show you that it's perfectly 90 degrees. It's not going anywhere. And as I put timber over the jointer, you'll see that the face of the timber is pushing against there. The edge of the timber is being made 90 degrees to that face as I push it over. And there we go. I've got a nice square edge. Now, that's great. Oh, here's something that a lot of people don't realise. A jointer is basically a plane that's turned upside down. So here's my little smoothing plane, and I normally push this direction. With a jointer you're feeding the timber in from that side, so the plane is this direction. So this side is where you push the timber onto. This side is just as you're feeding it in, but you push down onto the outfeed. Same as when you're planing, you're pushing down onto the back of the plane as you're doing your cut. Just a little aside. Now, talking about planes, that brings me to the next part. And when you're planing a piece of timber, sometimes we're planing the edge of it and you're trying to get it nice and square to the face, sometimes the plane will rock around a little bit, and that's not just restricted to this guy. It can also happen with a power plane. There are things that you can do to help you out there. Just like the jointer's got a fence, you can get fences for planes. Edge guide for a power plane you can also use as a fence. Now I spent a little bit of time, this was pretty accurate with my little plane, but I spent a bit of time getting the fence at 90 degrees. Don't know which camera might be the best, that one, that one, that one. Anyway, 90 degrees to the sole plate of the plane. And now I can push against the edge, and I'll show you a little bit of video of that, push against the edge of this, making very, very sure that I'm not going anywhere near the blade. So I put my finger against there and I'll push it against the face of the timber and then do my cut, and then I don't have the plane rolling around at all, which is great. Handy tip. Next one, and this is the big one. Now, Veritas have a jointer fence. Now you don't need to have a jointer plane. The jointer plane's a big number 7 or something like that. I haven't got one. If someone wants to give me one, I'll take it. Anyway, a number 7 is what you'd normally use this with. It's also got these rare earth magnets on here, and they're unbelievably strong. And you can use it with a little smoothing plane. It's a very easy situation. You just pop it on. You've got these brass points on the outside that indicate where the magnets are going to be, so they can go onto the side of the body of the plane. And then you just push it down, and then I put my thumb over the top into this area here, and then put my hand against the side. So I push against the face of the timber as I'm planing the edge. And that keeps me at 90 degrees. And blow me down, it'll work with my little block plane as well. Just look for an area there where you've got enough meat for it to stick on. Now it will hold the plane. These are strong magnets, I'm telling you. Struggling to get it off there. Now you'll probably say, wow, that was interesting, Dave, but I'm going to take you one step further. You can make different angles. Now, I randomly set my table saw at 20 degrees, and I ripped a bit of pine, and here's a bit of video of me ripping it. Then I docked it off to the length of the fence. Then I grabbed a couple of screws, very, very short screws, these tiny, tiny, tiny screws, and I screwed the new guide to the fence. And I have created a 20-degree angle, which is going to be really handy in some applications. Give me a while, I'll think of some. I think it went that way. Yep, it went that way around. And I'll show you some video of me planing with it, with this support on it. Absolutely magic. It's a great system. I saw this and I thought, you know, I've got to buy it. So I did. Have a look at the shavings. Have a look at the shavings that came out of it. They're really, really consistent. My shavings would have been a little bit here, a little bit on the other side. They'd be all over the place because I'd be wobbling around before. But these are consistent all the way down the cut. Love it. Anyway, you know the drill. Subscribe, Facebook, plenty of these. Watch out for what's in Arthur's Toolbox, which is midweek, and share around. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Look at that. Look at that. Not going anywhere.